Good morning once again to our lovely fans. You know how we do it now. Once you come here, if you are a new person here, just click on the subscribe button, click on the follow button, and then join the family. For those of you who are on YouTube and you want to join us on YouTube, just at KCFC_1, at KCFC_1, and you join us. Do so, please do so. That is how you pay your tithes on this platform. That is how you pay your tithe on this platform. Go to YouTube, click at KCFC_1 and join us. Now, the story we have today is the story of African players and the way they are being treated, in their European clubs and all of that. This particular case is a case of there are always two sides to a story. This is a case of there are always two sides to a story. Something happened to Mikel Obi when he was at Chelsea. Something happened to Mikel Obi when he was at Chelsea. Something happened to Adebayor when he was at Arsenal. Something happened to Adebayor when he was at Arsenal. Recall what happened currently to Victor Osimhen. And now, recall also what is happening to Ademola Lookman at Atalanta. Do not be very quick to judge these players until you hear their own side of the story. Be not quick to judge these players until you hear their own side of the story. Now, remember Adebayor when he scored against Arsenal, when he joined Man City and scored against Arsenal and celebrated in front of the fans widely. And people were like, you are everything Arsenal has done for you. Arsenal gave to you this and that. You are not appreciative. You are an ingrate. You are an ingrate. You did this, you did that. They accused him, abused him, and everybody was against him. But today, Emmanuel Adebayor has now come out to give his own side of the story. And when you hear his own side of the story, you will just be annoyed with yourself for being too quick to judge him. You will be annoyed with yourself for being too quick to judge Emmanuel Adebayor. Now listen to his story.
I went to holiday, I came back to the club and I have a quick meeting with the boss and he was like, we don't need you anymore. And that was like, oh wow. Then I came the next day to the training ground. I was not allowed to enter the Arsenal training ground. That's when I realized that it's over. Then I went to Man City. That was the fourth game of the league. When we get to the stadium, the Arsenal fans were already at the stadium singing. I can hear Adebayor, that famous song, Adebayor gave him the ball and he will score. But this time I realized that the song is different. Now the newest version was attacking my parents, my mother and my father. Okay, you can insult me as you want, but not my parents. So I went to greet some of my brothers, like Emmanuel Adebayor, Alessandro Song, Guy Clichy. They were giving me attitude. It was not brotherhood. I'm like, okay, now I understand what is happening. So Emmanuel, you have to give me everything. When I score that goal for me, I call it a time of deliberation. Like I have to give them something back. And that's what I have did. And a lot of people ask me, do I regret? No, of course not. I went.
So apparently Emmanuel Adebayor was chased out of Arsenal. They just chased him out of Arsenal, disgraced him out of Arsenal. And then he went and the fans disgraced him, annoyed him again, that led to that celebration. There is always something that leads to something. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You don't get a reaction out of nothing. There was an action before a reaction comes up. There was an action before a reaction comes up. Now, for the case of Mikel Obi. Mikel Obi at that time, we were asking what actually happened. What did Mikel Obi do? What led to this, sidelining of Mikel Obi? And after some time, he left the club. What actually happened? Many persons at that time was annoyed with Mikel Obi, not knowing the fact, not knowing what truly happened to Mikel Obi. Now Mikel Obi has come out to say that the coach at the time told Mikel Obi that if he goes to play for the national team, because he was called up with Victor Moses to play for the national team, and they told him if he goes to play for the national team, that he will not come back to join Chelsea first team. You are going to play the Olympics for the national team instead of the club to support you. The coach gave him a condition not to play for his national team. Which player would not want to play for his national team? Which player? Which player? Which player? Does that happen with the European players? That European competitions will be coming, and then you are forcing your players not to play for their country. Which player would not want to play for his or her country?
When he came in, we got invited, me and Victor mostly, we got invited to go to the national team Olympics. So I had a conversation with the club. I was like, okay. And he said, if you go, you're not playing anymore for the club. Because I'm a new manager, I'm here, we need to think about the team, we need to think about the club. And I was like, you know what, I've been invited by the national team to go and represent the country at the Olympics. He's like, yeah, but if you go, just know that your time here is done.
Wow.
Yeah. So me and Victor, so we thought about it, and Victor obviously stayed. But I was much older, so I said to Victor, listen, I've been here a long time. Yeah, I've been here a long time. I've won everything that I needed to win, and I've done everything that I needed to do at the club. You've just come in, so you better stay. And Victor said, yeah, I think that's good. So Victor stayed, and then I went. So after the tournament, I came back. That was it. He never spoke to me. He sent me to the reserve team. I was training with the reserves, and then I started training alone for a while. For like 6 months, I did this.
How do you mentally deal with that, man?
Oh, I knew. You know, when a manager does that, you knew. That's it. It's done. And I remember there was a period of time when the team started playing really, really badly. And he called me into his office, wanted me to play. He said, listen, we're not performing really well. He said, okay, if you want to come back. No, I said, no, thank you very much.
Is it?
Yeah, no, I told him.
on the shoulders.
I gave him a tap. I was like, no, thank you very much.
You said no to him? You said no?
Yeah, I said no to him. I remember we were playing badly, and, he called me into his office. Once I finished training alone, he called me and said, tell Mikel to come in. I went to his office. He's like, listen, I know we started on the wrong foot, but would like to have you back? I said, no. Because I already made up my mind I wanted to go anyways. I already made up my mind. I was probably, I spoke to a few guys, spoke to Didier Drogba back then. It's like, listen, once it starts happening like this, just, find your way, just go, try something new. And
Now, the case of Victor Osimhen. Now the case of Victor Osimhen. See the way they treated Victor Osimhen before he left to Galatasaray. Look at the stringent conditions that was placed on him, on his contract. People will not calm down and wait for Victor Osimhen to voice out his own side of the story. The same thing is happening to Ademola Lookman. Many clubs have come for him, bigger clubs coming for him. They rejected. Atalanta suppressed everything. He cried out. He wrote letter. He did everything. This is how most African players are treated in European clubs. This is how they are treated in European clubs. And the clubs should do the barest minimum of taking care of players and honoring agreement. Once you have an agreement with the player, honor those agreements. This is sad. This is sad. Let's know what you think in the comment section.